Anthropic just shipped a new Claude Code /go command that is going to absolutely replace a specific type of n8n workflow. I'm going to show you exactly which ones, and I'm also going to show you where n8n still wins, because an honest comparison is more useful than the hype. Now, if you've exported a contacts list in CRM, you know what that looks like. Duplicates, phone numbers in 4 different formats, blank company names, email addresses with a space before the @ sign, and the data is different every time. Imagine if you have an n8n workflow that is going to give you a clean contacts list. The problem is that you have to predict which problems will arise and build out an if branch for every format you've seen. Then next month, a new format shows up that wasn't in your branches, and your workflow processes through it wrong. Most people then end up doing a manual QA pass anyway, which is exactly what we want to avoid. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the new Claude /go command, and I'll run it through a broken contacts list live, no cuts during the demo. I'll also show you an equivalent n8n workflow that does the same thing, all 10 nodes of it. I'm not going to tell you that n8n is dead. It isn't, but there is a specific class of problem where /go now has become the better tool. Let's dive in. So first, let's take a look at the official Claude Code documentation for this /go command. You'll see, first of all, it requires Claude Code version 2.1.1.39 or later. And it says use a goal for substantial work with a verifiable end state. And so, like I mentioned before, the difference between this command and a regular workflow is that you can set conditions for when you can consider the task to be done. And this is an example for setting a goal that says /goal all tests in teth pass, and the lint step is clean. And a goal will keep running until the condition is met or that you clear the /goal. Let's first look at this Excel or Google Sheet document that we're going to use for today's demo. So you'll see this is a broken contact list. Let's focus on the phone column first. You'll see it's following this format first up before it changes to this. And then this is another format that we have. So you'll see this is not a clean phone number list. Also, the LinkedIn are missing for some of these contacts. And then company names are missing. And you'll see Sarah Chen appears at least twice, if not more. It actually appears, twice. So we don't want the duplicates to be present, and we need to clean this contact sheet. So this is the workflow we're going to follow. We already have the broken contacts sheet that we just saw. We're going to send it through an n8n workflow. It's actually going to have 10 nodes, not 12. And then it's going to clean the contact list, and it's going to provide us the output. And we're now then going to do that using the /go command and see what happens next. So first, let's take a look at the n8n workflow and see what it gives us. Under LinkedIn, it says not found. Same for under company. And now you'll see Sarah Chen, which we saw 2 instances of in our first sheet, is now only 1 row. You'll also see that the total number of rows is 58, which is down from 66 in our original sheet. So this is what an n8n workflow can do. It's nice, it's clean. Now, it did take a lot of time to create the n8n workflow, which I also did using Claude Code. But of course, this video is all about the /go command, so let's try doing that next. Back in our familiar place, this is Visual Studio Code with the Claude Code extension. You'll see what I've basically done on the left is created a folder which has the same broken contacts sheet that we saw previously. Now, for us to run the goal command, we cannot use the Claude Code extension. It's available only in the CLI. So I'm going to press Control and the backtick symbol on the keyboard, which is going to move me to the terminal. Once I'm here, I'm going to say Claude, type that, and hit enter. It's now going to invoke Claude, like you see on your screen right now. After this is done, this is what I'm going to paste. You'll see is the /go command, and let's read it line by line. It says process the contacts.csv and produce a new CSV where every row has a properly capitalized name, a filled company or not found, a lowercase email, a LinkedIn URL, and a phone number formatted in that particular format. We're asking it to merge duplicates by email, keeping the most complete data. Do not touch the original file, we are saying, and write a summary.md listing what changed, and verify everything at the end by rereading the file. Stop after. I'm going to shoot this down to about 6 turns just to keep the video short, and I'm going to press enter. Now let's see this do its magic. It says goal acknowledged. Let me start by reading the file, and it says it ran a bash command. It says, do you want to proceed? I'm going to hit yes. It's also giving me the token count. We can see it increasing. It stopped at 333 at the moment. It's saying it's thinking some more. Now almost done thinking. All right, you'll see now it's increasing the tokens. That's working more. It's gone up to 2,000 plus tokens now, and it needs a Python script to handle all the cleaning requirements. Now it says, do you want me to run the Python script? We're gonna hit yes. All right, so see, it says the original rows are 65. The merged duplicates are 8 emails that had duplicates. Now let me verify the output. So see, this is that part where it's now verifying its output as well. And this is the value add, that it's not just gonna create a script, run it, and that's it. It's also gonna verify its output. And that's what this goal command gives you, is more accuracy and more quality with the outputs you can produce. And also it's much easier than having to create an n8n workflow, right? Okay, so it says it's opened the changes in Visual Studio Code. Do you want me to make this edit to summary.md? I'm just gonna hit yes. All right, so everything is complete now. It says 57 rows down from 65. It says duplicate email pairs merged are 8. Names, title case 11. The company set to not found 13. LinkedIn set to not found 20. Phones reformatted to the dashed format, and phones set to not found. The original file was never modified, and the goal is achieved. And you'll now see that we have a clean contacts CSV. I'm going to open this up in Chrome and Google Sheets. In Google Sheets, and you'll see the phone numbers are now cleanly formatted with the dash format. The LinkedIns have the not found, the company the same. And if you try to look for duplicates, Sarah appears only in the first row, which means the duplicates are removed as well. The number of rows is down to 58 from 65. So this has done the same job that the n8n workflow did for us, but in a fraction of the time, because you didn't have to build the workflow out at all. And that is a massive efficiency step up. Here's the thing that most people miss when they first see /go. It's not just Claude running multiple times. There are actually 2 models involved. Claude does the work, and then a separate evaluator, which is Haiku, different model by Claude, reads everything that Claude surfaced in the conversation and asks one question: is the condition met? A yes stops it, and a no sends it back with exactly what's still wrong. So it's not Claude marking its own homework. Now I know what some of you may be thinking. If I build an n8n workflow, I can reuse it forever. With /go, do I have to type the condition every time? No, your condition is just text. You can save it to a file, wrap it in one shell command, and that's your workflow. Edit one sentence when your rules change, versus having to rebuild nodes. Having said that, that's not to say you should never use n8n. So let's distinguish when we should use /go versus when we should use n8n. Use /go when the data is messy or variable, like we saw in our broken contact sheet, right? the task requires judgment. So when you have clear instructions or conditions where if those conditions are met, you know that the task is finished, is when you should use /go. In other words, there should be a clear done state. Use it when edge cases keep appearing so that you don't have to go rebuild the workflow. And when it's also one time or an occasional cleanup. Use n8n when the data shape is predictable, when the same operation runs on a schedule. Ideally, you want a workflow which triggers on its own, right? The trigger is automated. You use it when you have a pure if-then logic and there's no judgment involved. And also you can use it when it needs to run while you sleep. I hope that makes it clear. What you just saw was one Claude Code command cleaning up a 65-row broken contact sheet. And we saw duplicates were merged, the format was fixed, and the missing data was flagged. Completely unattended. The n8n version of that was about 10 nodes. Both work. The real question is your data. Predictable and schedule goes to n8n versus messy and judgment required goes to /go. That decision card is worth keeping. If this was useful, subscribe. I try to put out a video like this whenever I find something new that changes how I work. Pass it on to someone in your team who can use this for data cleanup. And until then, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.